Okay, this is lesson 8 with in the Adobe Animate book, creating interactive navigation, where we're going to be using ActionScript code to create buttons, and the buttons will bring up interactive content. So let's get started. Let's create our first button. So let's go into our library, and the first thing we're going to do is up here, we'll go into Insert, New Symbol, and we're going to name our first button. Here, let me cancel out of here so you can see the thumbnails right here. So this is, we're going to make our first button with these thumbnails in our library. You can see. So these 4 buttons. So let's go back, Insert, New Symbol. We're going to name our first one, this first thumbnail, which is Gabelle Lafell, GabellFffel, and button. And make sure your type is a button. And we'll click OK. And this will give us a blank white screen. And over here, down here in our layer, we're going to click on the hit, right click, insert frame, and what we want to do is now is add our thumbnail, and we're going to add that over here, and we want this little plus character to match up with this one, and we'll go into our properties and to see if that's correct. Yes, and we want our X and our Y to both be 0. So that looks good. So that will be our button. Now let's add our hover section, which is, we're going to add a layer. So over here, hit New Layer, and we'll go in the Over section, and we're going to right click, insert keyframe, go back to our library, and let's see, I think we want the previews. So here it is, Gabelle Lafell over info, and we're going to drag that over on top. So that way when we hover over the button, this over info will show up to let us know that the button is working, and that it is and to show that it is also a button. Let's go into our properties and see. Let's see, 217 looks right. We want this to be 0. Okay. Now we want to add another layer. And we're going to go to our down position and right click, insert keyframe. And on this one, we want to go into our library and there's a click sound.mp3. We're going to just drag that onto the stage. We don't see that anywhere, but we do see down here now that there's this little orange line that should show us that the sound did go and it worked. If you want to test the sound, you can come over here and play. That's what the sound should sound like. And we'll test that once we get done here. And I think that's it. So now we'll go back into our scene 1. So up here in our edit bar, let's go back to our scene 1. And let's create a layer, new layer. And we're going to call this buttons. And drag that up to the top. And I see my button here has been created, the Gabelle Lafell button. And I'm going to drag it onto the button. And now to test it, I'm going to go under Control, Test. And you can see when my mouse comes over and hovers over the button, no matter where it is, that over info shows up. And now when I click on it, we hear the sound. Now one thing, if I want to go back, I want to go back into this button real quick. And so basically the up here that's the one that's showing up that's on our stage. The over is when we hover over our mouse over the button, and that's when this information comes up here. So the down is when we click down, and the hit area is this wherever the area is that allows us to click on. If we wanted to make that area smaller, we could, or larger, but you might not see that hit area. So that's the button, and our first button works. And I think we'll end this lesson right now.